Hi, Cougars. Okay, today we are looking at solving equations using multiplication. So our learning target today is all about being able to solve equations, and our success criteria is using the multiplication piece of this. So yesterday we looked at being able to use division and undoing multiplication by doing the opposite, which was division. Today, you are going to see division, and you have to undo division by using multiplication. Now, it's going to get a little tricky, a little, crazy in here, and that's okay because we have all of the tools that we need in our handy dandy notebook. Okay, everything that you need to solve these problems are in our notebooks. Okay, so don't freak out when you see something that looks funky. Okay, so you have all the skills, you have all the knowledge, you have everything that you need up here and in our notebook. Okay, let's start with problem number 1. Problem number 1 says W divided by 4 equals 12. All right. Remember, process over answer. Process over answer. Okay, so we have to undo division. In order to undo division, you have to do multiplication. Now, it's super easy for us to just look at this and be like, okay, well, I'm going to draw a balance line and I am just going to multiply this thing. But what does that actually mean? When you have this W here, what does this actually mean? Well, this W over 4 looks like a fraction. Okay, so we're actually going to rewrite this as a fraction. So I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can solve this. One, you could just say times 4 and then cross this out and have W equals times 4, and then you have 12 times 4, which equals 48. And remember, we cannot use an X, because if you put an X there, it's another variable, so make sure that you're using your dots, okay? But this looks weird, right? Like this not even a 1. That's like a sideways 1. What? That's like a 1 flying at you, like, ah! Like, right? Okay, so we need to talk about, like, how do you undo a fraction so that you can get a whole? Oh my goodness, you guys. We have all the tools and we have all the knowledge to do this. So really, what this is W divided by 4 equals 12. This is the same as saying I have 1 W, right? I have 1/4 W. So I have 1 W over 4. I now have a fraction that I can recognize. I have 1 over 4. I know how to undo a fraction, right? How do I get a whole? Well, I can get a whole over here by multiplying my 1/4 by 4 over 1. Right? There's my 4 multiplying by 4. It's the same thing. But now 4 times 1 gives me 4 over 4. Right? 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 4 is 4. This gives me 4 over 4 W. Well, look, I now have my 1 that I can cross out. This up here now goes away, and I've isolated my variable. So if I've multiplied by 4 over 1, here I can now multiply by 4 over 1 up here. And I can say that W is equal to 12 times 4, which is 48. It's all the same thing. It just looks so much better and makes mathematically way more sense than just a sideways 4. Do you see what I'm saying there? So when I have 1 W, I really have 1 over 4 W's. 1/4 W. And then I can multiply by fractions. And we know that fractions, the reciprocal, when we multiply by its reciprocal, we keep change flip. And that's how we're able to get 1 whole. Okay, let's do another one. Oh, but we have to check this. Okay, so now let's check it and see how we did. So I'm going to take this 48 and I'm going to put the 48 back into my W over 4. So W over 4 is equal to 12. So I need 48 to go here. So this means that 48 divided by 4 equals 12. Well, I know that 8 divided by 4 is 2. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 12 is equal to 12. So 48 is my solution. Okay, let's do another one. Example B. Example B looks like this. Example B says that I have 2/7 x equals 6. Okay, well, we know that right now this is multiplying. A fraction is multiplying. Well, to divide a fraction, I use keep change flip, right? Well, keep change flip is multiplying. A fraction divided by a fraction is multiplication. So it's so weird, right? So we have to divide by a fraction, which is really multiplication. So we're going to use its reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 7 over 2. This gives me 14 over 14, which is 1 whole x. 7 times 2 is 14. 2 times 7 is 14. This equals 6. Times 7 over 2. Again, whatever I multiply on this side, I have to do the same over here. So I now have x isolated. 6 times 7 equals 42. And 1 times 2 is 2. Well, 42 over 2 equals 21. So x is equal to 21. Let's plug it in and see how we did. All right, so x equals 21. I'm going to take this 21 and I'm going to put it right there. So now it says 2 over 7 times 21 over 1. Okay, so 2 times 21 gives me 42. And 7 times 1 is 6. Nope. What did I do? It's 7. And 42 divided by 7 is 6. And 6 is equal to that 6. So yes, it is a solution. Oh my goodness, Miss Englander. Okay, so 21 is a solution. Okay, let's do one more example of this, and I'm going to do this example right over here before I give you a try it. Okay, so this is example C. Example C. Okay, example C says t over 6 equals 9. Oh, did we do one like that? Let's do one like this. Oh no, that's a really big one. Yeah, let's do this. T over 6 equals 9. Okay, again, I could just multiply times 6. Undo the division, right? Because right now it's divided by. I know when I have a line, it's divided by. So I could just say times 6 and times 6. And then I've got my t equals like this. And I have 54. And I know that 9 times, well, let's check it, right? So I know that with my trick here, 9 times 6, my 9's trick, 9 times 6 is, where's my screen? 54, okay? So I know that that solution works. So if I just multiply and multiply, that works. However, it doesn't make mathematical sense. So I could turn it into a fraction. And I could say, if I wanted to check it as a fraction, I could say 1/6 t equals 9. And I could then multiply by 6 over 1 and multiply by 6 over 1 and make that into a whole fraction. I now have these crossed out because 6 over 6, because 6 times 1 and 6 times 1. This gives me 1 whole t, and t equals 54. T equals 54. And I know that 54 divided by 6 equals 9, and 9 is equal to 9. So 54 is a solution. Again, 2 different strategies. If you don't want to make it into a fraction, you don't need to. However, if they give you a fraction, you need to know how to be able to find its reciprocal like this. This up here, while it's easy peasy because you're just multiplying, it doesn't make mathematical sense. It works, but you have to understand why it works. Okay? All right, and that's trusting the process. Process, not answer, process. All right, let's do a try it. Let's do a try it. Which try it do I want you to do? Let's see. Let's do a over 8 equals 6. Okay, here's your try it's. A over 8 equals 6. So this is try it number 1. And then I'm going to give you one that looks like a fraction one so that you can check yourself on that one. Okay, so try it number 2 is 14 equals 2/5 y. All right, so go ahead and solve both of those. Again, you're going to want to pause right now so you don't hear me solving them. And then hit play when you're ready. Okay, so this is the same as saying 1/8. And I can multiply by 8 over 1. This gives me 8 over 8a, which is equal to 6. If I multiply by 8 over 1 here, I have to multiply by 8 over 1 here. This gets rid of this. I now have a equals 48. A equals 48. But I have to check it. Check my solution. So I'm going to take this 48 and I'm going to put it right in there and say 48 divided by 8. I know that 8 times 5 is 40. And 40 plus 1 more to get to 6 gives me 48. So 6 is equal to 6. This is a solution. This is true. So 48 is a solution. Okay, there's that one. How did you do? Multiply by 8, get 48. Okay. And last but not least, a tricky one to challenge your brain because we all like a good challenge. Okay, here we go. Again, we have to find the reciprocal of this fraction to get rid of it. So 5 over 2. Draw my balance line. 5 times 2 is 10. I also multiply by 5 over 2. So if I get 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 2 is 10, 10 over 10y is equal to, I need to do this out here to the side, 14 times 5. So that's 20, carry my 2, and that one is 5, 6, 7. So this is 70 over 2. And I know 70 divided by 2 is 35. 35 is equal to y. 35 is equal to y. I am going to check this now because this flipping business is really bizarre and I don't know if I got this right. So I better be checking my solution here. Okay, I think it's 35. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say 2 over 5 times 35 over 1. Okay, so I know 2 times 35, so 5 times this is 70, and 70 divided by 5, I'm going to go like this. That gives me 1, and 5 minus, that's a 2, and a 0, and that's 14, and 14 is equal to 14, so I got it, yes. 35 is a solution to this problem. How did you do on this one? How did you do? Okay, answer your essential question. How do you solve equations using multiplication? And then out on the side here in the box, I want you to put your rating. How are you feeling about having to make fractions and find the reciprocal again? And keep, change, flip, and go through all of this business. How are you feeling about that? Go ahead and put your rating out here to the side. Essential question, answer it. And then when you are finished, head on over to either Google Classroom if you need help. If you're not meeting your learning target and you have some questions, need some extra practice, come see me in Google Classroom, or you may head on over to your practice work. And as always, have an awesome day and make it a great day the Cougar way.